Okay, it's a beautiful fall day in New York on Long Island, and I'm going to be replacing my thermostat on this 1977 TR7 made by Triumph. There's two bolts here, the thermostat's in there, so I'm going to replace those two bolts. The car is cold. I'm going to remove those two bolts, and I'm going to scrape away all the old gasket material. I have a new gasket. I'm going to put a little RTV blue gasket sealer on the new gasket, a little bit on each side, thin, and then put it back together. And there's a very specific procedure on how to refill these things with coolant. Here's the plug. You remove that, then you fill it, and then you run it. Then you fill it again, then you run it. Well, I don't know the procedure by heart, but you really have to fill these things to the tippy top of the motor, and then this overflow should be half full with coolant, and then you squeeze that top hose. So try to find a procedure. It's online, and because that's not what this video is going to show, but I will be filling it and doing the procedure after I do the thermostat. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, I tried a 13 millimeter and I tried a 1/2 inch socket, and the 1/2 inch seems to fit more snug than the 13. The 13 has too much play, so I'm going to use the 1/2 inch socket. Okay, it was on there a little snug. It's coming off fine. Okay, let's get the other. Thank you. My son is... Usually I'm alone doing this stuff, so I can't take a good video, so thank you for doing that for me. So here's the rear bolt coming off. So coolant's going to probably go everywhere. That just means I had it filled right. Oh, there you go. There's the old gasket. Put that over there out of the way. Now, you also want to make sure you put your thermostat in the right orientation. So, I did a pretty good job filling this. So what you hear is just some coolant coming out of these hoses, and there's the old thermostat. Okay, cut. The old gasket, and I stuck a paper towel in here. Be careful if you're going to do this. You don't want small pieces of paper towel in your cooling system and radiator, so I just put a big piece in there because I'm going to be scraping away any gasket material on this surface here. Scrape outside the engine, and then on this surface here I'm also going to scrape away any old gasket material. It doesn't look to be too bad, but you still should do it. So that's what I'm going to do next off camera. Just take a razor blade and scrape it gently and try to get off all that material so you have a nice surface for the new gasket. Okay. The old thermostat is made in Germany, and it's a Wahler, W-A-H-L-E-R, and on the side it says 80 degrees C. Well, right there it says 80 degrees C, which converts to 176 degrees Fahrenheit. So I did buy a 180 degree Fahrenheit thermostat, so that's pretty much a very similar replacement as far as to what temperature it opens at. Okay, I'm going to go off camera and scrape these surfaces now. The tool. This is an oldie but a goodie. It's got a razor blade in there, nice and sharp. And this will do a good job in scraping the old gasket material and RTV off. Okay, here I am in the trunk of my TR7. Nice trunk. There's my car cover here. new gasket. You only need one. I bought an extra one, I don't know why. Here's the thermostat. This is 180 degrees Fahrenheit, 82 degrees C. So it's 2 degrees higher than the one that was in there, but guess what? It'll be fine. I just hope it's, you know, you always hope the quality of an aftermarket part is as good as the one that was in there. So there it is. Give you a nice close-up. Doesn't look like anything special. As long as it does the job. If you want, you can put this in the pot of water, put it on your stove and boil it, and see if it opens at around 180 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just before boiling. Boiling is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So there you go. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit of this blue RTV on each side of the gasket, just to seal it. Put a nice thin layer, you know, get around the holes on each side of the gasket, and that'll just seal it. You don't have to use a lot. Okay, both surfaces are clean. Carefully take out the paper towel. Discard of this properly because it has coolant on it. You don't want the animals to get to that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dry that surface. I already dried this surface on the housing. That's what that looks like. And I'm going to dry this. Put the gasket on, the 2 bolts. Oh no, first I'm going to put the RTV on. I'll probably put it on this surface first, then stick the gasket on that, and then put it on the gasket. Or just put it on the gasket and then put it on that. As long as there's a little RTV on each side of the gasket. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, there's one side of the gasket. I'm going to do the other side now, and then place it onto the car. Okay, get ready. Make sure you put the thermostat in first, okay, because it sits in a nice little recessed area before you put in your gasket. Okay, thanks. I'm going to put the gasket on now. Alright, gasket's on. Now what I'm going to do, it's hard to shoot this on video, but I'm going to put the bolts in the holes of that housing down there and get them, you know, seated inside the threaded holes. This way the gasket cannot move. So bolts in the holes of the housing. You're going to hold them down with 2 fingers and plop the housing right on top, making sure the bolts go in these holes, and then thread them by hand first. Bolts in the housing, and I'm going to get this lined up. Alright, the rear bolt went in. I'm turning the rear bolt, just putting the socket on the bolt. I'm going to get this bolt in. There, I can tell it's threading it nicely. So I'm going to just, right, the rear bolt's already seated down. And I'm going to turn this one till it's seated, then I'm going to get my ratchet. Okay, as you can see, the gasket's in there. And now I'm just going to snug down both bolts. Cut. Okay, now I'm just snugging down the 2 bolts. You don't want to tighten it too much. I'm not even grabbing down here. I don't want a lot of torque. snug it down. You could see some gasket material squeeze out. That's okay. And I'm going to just wipe that excess material away before it dries. Cut. Okay, so the thermostat job is done, but you should always start your car. First of all, you have to top off your coolant, and then start your car and watch your temperature gauge. Make sure the new one is working, because sometimes you can get a defective part and you can actually do more harm to your car than if you left the old part in. So this is a 13/16. Just about fits. I rounded this brass plug a little bit, and I'm going to fill the coolant in there and top it off and do the coolant procedure now. But thank you for watching, and I appreciate you watching my videos. And this is, you know, I'm not a mechanic. I just do this for fun on the weekends. So I hope this video helps you, and take care of your cars. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Bye. One more thing, I'm sorry, I already ended the video, but you know, make sure you use good coolant. I use 50/50 because you have to use, you can't just use water from a hose in your cooling system. Yeah, we did that as kids, but you learn about things as you get older, and it's not the greatest because they use I think they use distilled water. So, you know, if Speke is going to mix this, they're going to do it perfectly. And so you just pour it in. It's 50/50. If you want a little stronger mixture, then go buy some full strength that's not pre-mixed and just add a little bit more coolant. But I use the 50/50. I don't have to worry about mixing and all that jazz. It's not hard to mix, but you have to have the distilled water, otherwise it can do harm to your cooling system. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Alright, I know I ended the video already, but I might as well shoot some more footage here. This is the brass plug that my car has. Sometimes they have a plastic one. This is the sealing washer. There's the sealing washer. I wiped it. And I have a funnel here. My ratchet. And there's where I'm going to fill. There you go. Look down in there, you see the new thermostat, all happy. I'm going to just do the coolant filling procedure now. Alright. Oh, I got a little RTV on my screw here, which I'll take that off later on. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great week. Bye-bye. Okay. I did the coolant top off, and no leaks. She's idling great. No, she's not idling great. She's idling around 1500 RPM. So I might have some stuck linkage in here. I don't think the idle is set high. I think something might be stuck in the choke. It's running like a champ though. Look at this.